What's going on, family? It's the entertainer, the motivator, the educator, Lucky Murray, and I'm here with 44 Sports. And today we are specifically talking about college football with the South Carolina Gamecocks, and just to talk about them. But I believe college football for the 2020 season should be a regional sport versus these different conferences coming with decisions that kind of step on each other's toes when it comes to scheduling football games. A lot of these conferences, back in the day, conferences were aligned with the region you was in. So the SEC was teams in the Southeastern Conference, like bubble. But in the ACC was the Atlantic Coast Conference. So basically, teams along the Atlantic Coast were presumably the teams that be in the league. But that's not how it is nowadays in the conferences in college football. So you may have a team that is on one side of the country and it takes them 6-7 hours to play another team on the other side of the country, and it doesn't have to necessarily align with the region that they are in. And a lot of these decisions doesn't make sense when it comes to their agreements to like only play conference schedules, because they are defeating the purpose when it comes to COVID-19 and when it comes to players' safety. So, like the SEC said that they're gonna have a 10-game conference schedule, no non-conference opponents. I don't know why that is, and this right here is still shocking, to say the least. To just hear and listen to how these directors and presidents are explaining how they're going to do a college football season, and they don't have to put themselves in harm's way. These players may have. So Lucky Murray did this one thing, and this hypothetical schedule, people. So hypothetical South Carolina Gamecock schedule, and I will tell you my reasoning why. But I think that this year South Carolina needs to play teams in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia, right? So that means that if it's an outbreak in Kentucky, that has nothing to do with South Carolina's schedule, because Kentucky needs to deal with it. Or if it's an outbreak in Texas. But with the current model that they are doing right now, if there's an outbreak in Texas, then if we have a game with Texas A&M, either we go to them or they come to us. We will not play them. If there is an outbreak in Louisiana, we will probably not be able to play Louisiana LSU, because of some fact that either we come there or they come. It doesn't really matter. Let's say LSU played Florida the game before, and it was an outbreak on LSU. Found out about that. It needs at least to be a 14-day quarantine. So all of this is messed up. So here's my plan. Here's what I think about doing. And before I do this, man, please subscribe to the channel and also join the Nosebleed. That would be a brand new live sports radio show hosted by yours truly in the fall. So let's look at the schedule right here. This is a mock schedule, okay, people? This is not real. This is not official. This is something that I've created on Canva to kind of give you an idea of what a schedule could look like if we only play teams in North, South, and Georgia. North, South Carolina, and Georgia. So the first game will be against the Georgia Bulldogs, September 26th. I'm keeping the same start time as the SEC proposed season. And then on the 3rd of October, we go and play North Carolina. So North Carolina versus South Carolina. These are not ACC or SEC schedules. This is simply college football schedule put together, and the conferences are working together. That's why college football needs some type of czar or some type of person that heads it and kind of give these conferences some forethought. Like, hey, look, bunch these teams up together so that you can minimize the spread of COVID. And then we give some FBS love. We go down to Orangeburg. Orangeburg come to us, and we play the South Carolina State Bulldogs. We're not it's no NCAA championship this year. We're just playing teams and really getting our reps up, okay? So we can help South Carolina State, because this year they're not going to be able to play because a lot of these smaller schools are not playing the 2020 college football season. And then we go down to Georgia Tech, and we play the Yellow Jackets 10-17. And then we go up to Greenville, North Carolina, and play the ECU Pirates. Yes, we haven't played ECU in a while, and that'd be a very fun game to play. And then we can flip-flop and come back to Appalachian State. We can play Appalachian State in Boone, North Carolina, or we can. It's so many different ways you can do that, but we can stay. It's so many ways you can do that. So we could play Appalachian State, and then we come back and we play Coastal Carolina again. We're helping our friends that are in the lower levels. Hold up, Coastal Carolina. Oh no, Coastal Carolina it's in the Sun Belt, I believe. But still, yeah, Coastal Carolina is a pretty good opponent. And then we play the Duke Blue Devils, right? We go to Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina, play the Duke Blue Devils, and then we stay at home, and Wake Forest comes down to us. And then North Carolina State versus South Carolina, we don't usually play the Wolfpack. And then the game in December, because the season's been pushed back, we still get our game against the Clemson Tigers. And what will happen then is that after the season starts, the season stops right there. No college championship, no college championship as far as the NCAA, no conference championship, because who's to say that these conferences will be able to play these games? I don't even think they can finish the season, but if we can localize it, and then the schools work together, there's so many different ways you can do this so that these young men can have a chance to play football, but we're not putting their health at risk by letting them travel on private planes or charter planes across the country, and all these different aspects that would cause these players to may be exposed to the COVID-19 virus. And, all it takes is maybe one or few people to get it, and your whole season shut down. Look at what MLB is doing. Look at the NBA is having much success with a bubble mentality. I believe that, hey, look, the only way you can do a bubble is that teams regionally can get together. So conferences got to put their pride aside and be like, look here, we cannot have an ACC or SEC championship game. We cannot have an NCAA college football champion this year, just like they took away the basketball scholarships, take away the football championships, and just play a few games, exhibitions. Not exhibition, they'll count, but they won't count towards a championship or anything else like that. This is not a regular season. We're in the pandemic right now, and then we are gearing up for maybe a second breakout when the flu season comes back. And if flu season come back and this pandemic is still going on, you're not finishing any type of football. So I think it should be regional. I really do. I think that if teams let's say this. Let's say we just play teams in South Carolina, right? There are 8 different schools in South Carolina alone that plays Division I football. That is the subdivision, the conference, the championships, not the FCS, the FBS, which is the bowl subdivision, and also the FCS, which is the championship division, which NCAA AA 1 and 1 AA. They should keep it that way because both of them play playoffs. I know that the main conference plays bowl games as well, but both of them play in a playoff format. So I think if you regionalize the games, and now you're looking more or less to what are the particular schools are doing. The schools are closer. They can kind of gauge. They kind of like, hey, look, it's a lot of different things you can do. But these conferences are money hungry, and that's why you're having these discussions of, hey, look, South Carolina can play LSU, or South Carolina can play Alabama, and we, what I'm saying, these different games like this that I've mentioned, the biggest travel is less than 300 miles. Like, even if you go to, like, Boone, North Carolina, if you go to, like, Georgia or some parts of North Carolina, it's only about 300 miles. You can charter a bus there, or you can charter a plane there. You can sanitize the bus. You can minimize the different assets that it would take to not injure somebody, but expose somebody to COVID-19. So I'm interested to see what you got to say, man, about this, man. Do you think that college football should be regional? And what would your schedule look like if you can make up a schedule to, who South Carolina could play in the upcoming football season? Again, it's the entertainer, the motivator, the educator, Lucky Murray here with 4-4 Sports. And here's what I need you to do. I need you to go down the link below and join the Nosebleeds, okay? That would be a live sports show. It may be weekly. It may be every day. I don't know. It depends on the people who sign up and the people who wants to hear from me, and also the Nosebleeds. So I want to hear from you. Should college football be regional this year? Let me know what you think about that in the comment section below. But until next time, people.